Yeah, thank you very much for having me. My name is Jochen Cremer. I'm a co-director of the Delft AI Energy Lab at the TU Delft. I'm also assistant professor there. And today I want to talk to you about the value. How can we create value from artificial intelligence technology? So specifically, I'm starting with giving you two key advantages which artificial intelligence has, which become important for energy systems. And then I'll show you two use cases. So regarding the advantages, so as you know, we're integrating more and more renewable energy in the system. The system becomes more complex. We are keeping building our system. We are even integrating to other countries, connecting countries to solve this fluctuation problem of and the uncertainty problem of renewables. And that adds tremendous complexity to the energy system. So AI can solve this problem. AI can make decentralized decisions through multi-agents to address exactly that complexity. And this is one of the advantages which AI has, which brings it into the pool of technology which we have already, which is exactly about this decentralization aspect. So that's the first unique advantage AI has. The second one is we always hear about AI, how long it takes to train an AI. We talk about the computational resources it requires, the energy which is behind to train an AI, which is quite large. But what is sometimes overlooked, is that AI, when we are using it for prediction, so not for training, but for prediction, so when we're using the AI, is extremely fast. It's real-time fast. So it's essentially just a function. You put something in and you get something out, which is super fast. And this is the second unique advantage, because standard software, when we are simulating the energy system, for example, is very slow. So that's the second advantage which becomes important. So in my research, I'm developing software for control system operators. So for example, Tenet or Stedin or Aliander. And those techniques of artificial intelligence, as they are becoming very fast, are extremely important there. And I show you now two use cases where we are developing software or the algorithms behind those software for. So probably you remember the Texas power blackout in February this year. So I can talk about what the reasons were behind, but the fact is it resulted in an extremely large economic damage on 195 billion US dollar here. And what really scares me, this was just a few days, and as you can see, this is Houston here. It was actually not a total power blackout, right? So just parts of the city were in blackout, and this is the number which resulted in a huge economic problem there. And what really scared me was when I read the final report that we were actually just a few seconds away from a total power blackout of the entire state. That's scary. And I think if you now imagine what we are going through in the last 2 years of the pandemic, I 2 years ago struggled to imagine how a pandemic looks like. Imagine how it would look like if we have a power blackout in Europe, which would be absolutely crazy. So what we are doing is we use AI, we develop algorithms which can predict those blackouts. So I'm not here to scare you, I'm telling you that we are working on to prevent those blackouts, specifically working with Tenet on these topics. So that's just one of these use cases which I'm working on. The second one is, which goes back to this advantage which I mentioned earlier, making decentralized decisions becomes really important and is a promising advantage of AI. And there are aggregators which try to aggregate different energy consumers and different smaller units as we're implementing photovoltaic units of our roofs and electric vehicles in our parking lots. Those are shiftable. So this means that if we have decentralized algorithms, these can be aggregated and function as flexible energy resources to the electricity system operator, right? So this means that when we have a lot of wind, we consume a lot of energy, and when we have low wind, we can consume less energy. And this is essentially what the advantage of AI can bring us as a technology to support us making this kind of balance, this kind of matching happening, right? As you can imagine, the number of energy resources is extremely large to schedule, and we can see that also in our initial research on that topic, that AI can basically, through individual contributions, so you and me in our households, can reach a global objective in the energy system, which is to reduce carbon emissions, to be more sustainable, to save overall system cost, and so maintain privacy and so on and so forth. So if you like these two use cases, if you have other use cases where you think AI can help us, then also please speak to me. Thank you.